Welcome back. Bruce Willis's wife Emma has opened up about her struggles of caring for her husband, who of course was diagnosed with dementia earlier this year.
I have to make a conscious effort every single day to live the best life that I can. I do that for myself. I do that for our 2 children. And Bruce, who would not want me to live any other way. I don't want it to be misconstrued that, like, I'm good, because I'm not. I'm not good. But I have to put my best foot forward because, again, when we are not looking after ourselves, we cannot look after anyone that we love.
Yeah, something a lot of people will relate to listening to that. And the online video has reignited conversation on how the condition can impact carers, family and friends. Dr. Helena Popovic is an expert in the field and she joins us now live from the Gold Coast. Good morning to you, Helena.
Good morning, Jane and David.
We know dementia affects more than 1.5 million caregivers in Australia. What kind of impact can it have on a person?
Look, quite frankly, caregiving can take over your life. You don't even realise the stress creeping up. You don't realise that it's all consuming and suddenly you feel very alone and socially isolated because you've cut yourself off from your own friends. That was the first thing that I found. Secondly, the health of carers tends to go down and their health is much poorer than the rest of the population because you start to neglect your own physical and emotional needs. There's also a lot of grief. Because even though the person is still there, you grieve the person that they were, you grieve that the life that you had. It can also be a big financial strain. Most people have to cut down on work, if not give up altogether, depending on how much care the person needs. And for me, it was the biggest experience of exhaustion and overwhelm that I've ever had in my life.
Well, Helena, you've also released a book on dementia and have a whole chapter on how to cope with a family member with the condition. And I think what you're saying is what they say on flights as well when they do the emergency service on flights. They say, put your mask on first before you help somebody else. You've got to do your own self-care. Is that your advice?
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. Just drum it into yourself. Self-care is not selfish. And I learned this the hard way. I was thrown into the caring role very suddenly when my mother died. She had cancer. And I became sick for the first time in my life within 6 months of looking after Dad. I don't get sick. I landed in hospital, 3 days of IV antibiotics with severe cellulitis, having had caught everything else that was in season. And when I was in hospital, I realised I'm no good to my dad if I'm not there. And it's about recognising that you can't do this alone. People will say, I don't have time to look after myself. The only way you'll have time is if you set up a care team early, whether it's friends, neighbours, professional carers. Get that support and give yourself permission to do things that bring you joy, that give you respite. Contact places like dementia.org.au, dementiaaustralia.com.au, carergateway.gov.au. They provide counselling, they provide 24-hour telephone support, they provide practical advice. So look after yourself, absolutely number one. And remember what are the 2 most powerful words in the English or in any language? Me too. Connect with other carers, whether it's online support groups or in-person support groups, because there's nothing more validating than recognising I'm not the only one feeling like this. I'm not strange. It's not that I'm not coping. This is completely normal.
Such good advice. Helena, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Helena.
Thank you very much.